Hey everyone, my name is Dane Saddler. I'm also known as the Slim Chef, and I'm here for Slow Food for the Slow 7 Challenge. Today we're going to be cooking an easy dish that you can try at home, all made with local ingredients. We're doing a pan-seared mahi with sweet potato mash, grilled plantain, and avocado salsa. I know it sounds yummy. So for today's dish, you'll need onions, tomatoes, lime, fresh herbs, sweet potato, avocado of course, plantain, coconut oil. And all this was sourced at our local market here. And if you want to find out how to get these things, you can check Slow Food Buyer's Guide. All that information is available right at hand. So let's begin. So we'll start by peeling our sweet potato. This is going to take the longest to cook of the dish. So we start with this first, put this on the stove, and then we jump into everything else. Just cut off that. To make it easy, I always break down the sweet potato into smaller bits so I can peel it. And if you have a peeler, you could use it, but I have a knife at hand, so I'll just use this. And I'll go just along the sides. And we're using the white sweet potato as this is indigenous to Barbados, and it is a bit sweeter than the orange potato, and is a healthier option to your regular Irish potato. And it's very good for diabetics as well. So we get all of this out. And we're cooking for one person today. That's why I'm just using one potato. But if you're catering for the family, you could always increase your numbers. And we would list this in the recipe on the website after we post the video. So it'll be right at hand for you to follow at home. And if you have any questions, you can always contact us, drop us an email, and follow along. So we finished chopping, we finished peeling our sweet potato. So I have all the trimmings here, and we keep this in a bucket separate for composting, because when you have your kitchen garden at home and you have all your trimmings from your fruits and vegetables, you could create your own compost heap, which would be good fertilizer for your kitchen garden. So we store this here, and now we cut the sweet potato. We just cut them basically into long strips to cook. We don't cut them too small, or when they boil, they break up and disintegrate. So we keep them fairly large, but still not too big, so they all cook evenly and quickly. So here we have it. So now we add our sweet potatoes to our pot, and we let that boil. We might add a touch of salt, but today we're cooking healthy, so no salt today. We just let that boil, and then when we mash it, we add in all the other ingredients we need to add some more flavor. So for our salsa, we have a ripe avocado. Went in the market this morning, felt it. It's not overly ripe, it's just firm enough, so it gives you good body. We have our tomato, onion, locally grown garlic, believe it or not. Yes, you can grow garlic here at home. Once you see the pods starting to form a shoot, you can stick that in the ground and begin the growing process of your garlic. Some lemon, and a bit of coconut oil we add to that as well. So I cut the avocado in half. Look at that. Gorgeous. So I set that aside to eat later. Peel and cut in half again, just so I can easily trim. I can easily trim There you go, your avocado. Let me just cut piece. Quality testing. Thumbs up. The avocado is sweet, which is good, and the lime will contrast it nicely to give you a sweet and tart taste, and the lime also goes well with the fish. So we cut these into large cubes, not too small. Like I said, this is a simple recipe. We're going to go a bit fancy in case you want to entertain with this dish. So we try to get all our cuts even, and we set that aside in our bowl. And the lime also will help keep the color of the avocado, because once you cut avocado and expose to air, it starts to darken. So we use lime to help preserve the color. So we have that all cut down. And I'm not going to get too chefy on you today, because we all want to be able to try dishes at home you feel comfortable with and not overly intimidated by. So your avocado is cut. So don't forget, all trimmings go in our bucket for our compost heap. So a small bit of onion now. I chop this fine dice to add into the salsa. And you hear the crunch, you want that crunch in your salsa. So, and I just add about half of this so the onion doesn't overpower. Put the rest to the side to add in our seasoning. And our tomatoes, all locally grown again. And the Slow Food Buyer's Guide has a wealth of information. You might find items that you wouldn't necessarily have think are grown in Barbados here and available from our local farmers. And we want to keep it all local and keep the cycle growing from farm to table and support our own. So here we have we cut them julienne first, which is long strips, and then we cut across into more fine dice. And for the salsa, you want all the ingredients roughly the same size. So when you take a forkful, you get an even distribution of flavor and colors. And we add that in there. And I peeled around the seeds of the tomato and just got the meaty part, because if you add this to your avocado, to your salsa, as you see it's dripping, it will continue to drip and make your salsa waterlogged. So we just keep this to the side and add to our compost bucket. So next, just 1 clove of garlic. I pull that, and the easiest way to peel garlic, if you don't know by now, you just put and apply some pressure with your knife, crush, and the skin easily comes off. So you have there. Simple. And we just give this a rough chop. Again, nice small dice. Actually, you could mince this, so chop it as fine as you possibly can, since garlic is so strong. And then this goes in. So we chose to use avocado today because avocado is in season, but for your salsa you can use any fresh ingredient. So be it mango, golden apple, orange, anything you want. A nice citrusy flavor brings out the flavor of the fish and pairs with the dish well. So our next step, we chop in some fresh herbs to add. So I have a bit of parsley, some thyme. I'll pull the leaves off of, and fresh is always best. And a small piece of chive. So for the parsley, and this adds nice color. Thyme we don't need to chop because we don't want the stems in, we just want the leaves, so we give that a quick pull. A quick pull again. So the easiest way to pull leaves off the thyme is to go against the grain of the leaf. So if the leaf goes up, you hold it from the top and pull down. And if you have big thyme leaves, there's a trick I saw. You can put it between the fork and just pull down to pull off the leaves. But we're using it by hand today, so just pull, and we pull in, and we are pulling. So there we have our thyme. We just split this to release some of the flavor from inside. Chop across. There we go. And our final ingredient to add, fresh lime juice. So we give the lime a roll to start releasing the liquids, because you know sometimes you get a lime and it's pretty hard once you cut it to squeeze it, so we squeeze it beforehand and it softens it up. Give it a cut. There we go. And we squeeze between our fingers to release the juice and catch the seeds. Voila. So our stems and anything left back. So we have our lime stems, we always add that to the compost seed. And if you want your salsa to have a bit of kick, we just add a small bit of Scotch bonnet. A little goes a long way. Chop that fine, as finely as possible, and toss it in. You'll be surprised at how much heat that little bit of pepper gives off. And just a spoonful of coconut oil. In, and we give that a mix. So we have our avocado, tomatoes, onions, fresh herb, lime juice, Scotch bonnet pepper, garlic. And this goes on top of our fish after we plate it up. So this is all complete. Give it a taste. Yep. Oh yeah. Just got a bit of that Scotch bonnet, so it's good. And the coconut oil gives it a bit of density too in terms of flavor. So you have the coconut and the avocado there. We have our fish here, and we're going to season our fish, but we're not going to use the store-bought seasoning. We're going to make our own seasoning, because that's what slow food is about, sustainability. So we have our food processor here, and I'm going to add the bit of onions we had left back. Just chop this. Another piece of garlic. So we're using all fresh ingredients for this. Crush that to get the skin off again. There you go. Come on, okay. There. And there. Sometimes it gives you a bit more trouble than it needs to. So that's in. We have our parsley. Thyme. Got this in by sprigs because the processor will break that down for us. Chives. Just tear that up. Another small piece of the Scotch bonnet. And that is it. So just adding in a bit of water. But if you don't have a food processor at home and you have a blender, you can use your blender as well. If not, you can just put all the ingredients together and chop them by hand. It might take a bit longer and a bit more chopping, but you'll have the same end result. So all our ingredients are in. And let's begin. There you go. So here we have it, and as you see, all our herbs have been well blended and incorporated. If you add in too much water, you can just strain it off to get the herbs, but you may want to keep the liquid to use if you're making a gravy, as that has great flavor in it. But this is the consistency you're looking at. Not too blended, still a bit of chunk in it, so you get some flavor when you add it to the fish and you can season it with. So we're going to bring our fish. We're going to season, and we're going to rub it in with love. So all the creases you fill, turn it, go the other side again. And we let this sit for a few minutes so the flavor can go through the fish. And while this is marinating, we are going to cut the plantain and grill, and this would go as the garnish for the dish. So we have our plantain. We're going to tip and toe, cut off the top and the bottom. Just give a slit on the side, remove the skin. There you go. Compost. So we cut this diagonally, but not too thick because you're grilling and not frying, so you want it thin enough so it grills quickly, but not too thin that it burns. And there you have it. We're just going to rub this with our coconut oil and put it on the grill to start grilling. And we're going to have a look at our sweet potatoes to see how that's going. The sweet potatoes are tender. That means they're all done. So you're going to drain these and start to mash. And return back to the pot, and we go back to the stove. So we've added our sweet potato back to the stove. Just going to add a bit of milk. I'm mashing with a fork just because it's a small amount. I'm going to add a bit of cinnamon as well. But you can add less or more milk, your personal preference. Depends on how soft you want your mash to be. I want mine firm enough so the fish can sit on it. So I haven't added too much. And there we go, nice and soft. And just a sprinkle of cinnamon. Voila. Mash that again. And we set this aside. So that's done. So just sprinkle a bit of coconut oil onto the plantain. So when you're grilling, they don't stick to the grill. And the grill is already on, so we go to the stove and begin. And you want your grill hot enough so when you place them down, you hear a sizzle. Nice and hot. So now these are done, this is how you want to look, nice grill marks on them. And we set these aside and start on our fish, the final step in the dish. So our fish is marinated and ready. We have our coconut oil. So we just add a bit. You don't want your stove too hot to burn the oil. So yeah, nice and sizzled. So we lay our fish. You want to hear that sizzle once you add it in. That means the stove is hot enough. We turn on the heat.
Try this at home, kid.
Just leave
So
that.
your fish is on fire.
Yeah. So we're cooking with fire at home. We leave that for about 5 minutes each side. Keep turning until your fish is fully cooked through. You might just add in a touch of liquid to allow it to steam. But you want that nice chard on the outside. And cutting the sides. So just a touch of water. Reduce your heat. This allows it to steam and the flavors to go all the way through the fish. And leave this for about 3 to 5 minutes and we're all done. So we are ready to plate. So we start with our plantain. We just arrange this around the middle. You get some nice bright colors. And the good thing about this dish is bright, it's flavorful, and it's fresh. So we have that there. We go on to our sweet potato mash. So 1 healthy serving. You don't have to perfectly mold it. You just want it nice enough to sit in the middle. Add a bit on top of that. And there we go. And you want that your colors from your plantain are still visible. And then we add our fish. Nice fresh fish. Now we went down to our fish market and got from our fisherman. He filleted it for us. And then we top it all off with our fresh avocado salsa. And we give a healthy spoonful, don't mind it falling off. It's a rustic presentation. We put some on the side. And there you have it. If you want, you can just stick some fresh herbs in it, but I think that's enough color and we don't want to overdo and make the plate busy. So here you have it. Our sweet potato mash with pan-seared mahi, avocado salsa, and grilled plantain. I hope you had fun watching and you had fun making it. Log on to slowfoodbarbados.com. Visit our website. Check out all the resources, a wealth of information, our buyer's guide to see where you can get all these ingredients from. And just follow us, stay updated, and stay sustainable. See you soon.